So we're continuing on. We're going to start with problem 41. Select the lesser of the two given numbers. So the lesser is going to be more to the left on the number line. So if I were to draw this, I'd have 0, I'd have -4, -8, -12. So I've put these equal distances. So because this is to the left of -4, we know that -2 is less than -4, so -12 is the lesser of the two. Okay, 44. We have -16, 15, and -16. Again, if you did a number line, let's put 0 here, and then you have -15, which is the distance of 15 to the left, and then you have -16. So because this is left of -15, we could say -16 is less than -15, or the lesser number is -16. (47) The absolute value of 3 and the -3 and the absolute value of -4. So what is the absolute value of -3? Well, the absolute value always takes off the negative sign, so it becomes 3, and this becomes +4. So then you plot these on a number line. So this is 0, this is 3, this is 4, and because 3 is to the left of 4, then we know that 3 is less than 4, and therefore 3 is the lesser of the two numbers. Well, actually, what we know is that we also that implies, because of this, that the absolute value. So we could say the absolute value of -3 is less than the absolute value of -4. So the lesser of the two is going to be equal to the absolute value of -3. So that's the lesser of the two. So you could say it either way, really. Okay, number 50. So we have negative the absolute value of -2 and negative the absolute value of, I forgot, make sure I make them look like absolute values here. So, and then we have negative the absolute value of -3. So we have negative the absolute value of -2. Well, the absolute value of -2 is +2. And then we have negative the absolute value of -3, but the absolute value of -3 is +3. So these are equivalent to each other. So if we put those on our number line, and we'll just show the ones to the left because we just have negative numbers. So we see that -3 is to the left of -2, and therefore this is the lesser one. So we could either say the absolute value of negative the absolute value of -3 is less than negative the absolute value of -2. So the lesser one is that, or you could say it's -3 is the lesser one. Either way. Okay, determine whether each statement is true. 53. 6 is greater than negative of a negative. Well, the negative of a negative is positive, because what the negative sign does is it says I'm going to move the same distance on the other side of the 0. So if we have 0, we have 1 and 2. So this represents -2. And so negative of a -2 becomes +2. So this negation here means we move it to the other side of the number line. So this becomes equal to +2. And then if we look at those on the number line, you could say that's 2, which is the same as a negative and -2. And if I know those are exactly the same spacing, but I was going to run out of distance. So in this case, 2 is less than, because it's more to the left, and so this is a true statement. Okay, 56. -6 is less than or equal to negative the absolute value of -3. So, you know, the easiest way is to say if you multiply negative times negative, you get the positive. The number line says you're taking -3 and you're moving it to the other side of the 0, which makes it +3. So we've got -6 is less than or equal to +3. And again, on the number line, say this is 0, this is 3, this would be -3, this would be -6. Since this is to the left of +3, then this is true. Another way of looking at it is any negative number is always less than a positive number. And any positive number is greater than a negative number. Okay, we got 59 next. Negative the absolute value of 8 is greater than the absolute value of -9. Okay, so first thing to do is take the absolute values. So the absolute value of 8 is +8. So you get -8 is greater than the absolute value of -9. Well, the absolute value of -9 is +9. And again, on a number line perspective, this is 9 and this is -8. Since this is to the left of that, -8 has to be less than 9, and therefore this statement is false. Also, by the previous thing that we just said, any positive number is greater than a negative number. So from that, even if you don't use the number line, you know that's true. Okay, let's look at 62. So we have negative, the absolute value of -12 is less than or equal to negative the absolute value of -15. Okay, so what is the absolute value of -12? It's +12. The absolute value is always positive. You have the same magnitude, you just always make it positive. Then you have negative the absolute value of -15, which is 15. So you have -15. Now, the question is, which is this true? So we draw a number line, and we say, okay, here's 0, here's -12, here's -15. So from this, we know that -15 is less than -12, which disagrees with what we have here. It says -12 is less than -15. So this is a false statement. Okay, and the last one we'll do here is 65. The table shows the percent change in population from 2000 to 2006 for selected states. Which state has the greatest change in population? Okay, well, they're asking the greatest change. It doesn't really matter whether it's positive or negative. It didn't say the greatest positive change. It didn't say the greatest negative change. So we want to look at that and which one of those numbers has the highest absolute value. So you might say, well, 3.4 is positive, so that must be the greatest. But in this case, it's really Louisiana, which is -4.1, because we're looking at the change, which is absolute value. So the answer for part A, first part, is Louisiana. The second question is, what was this change? Well, the change is it decreases. So part B, we could say it's a -4.1, or we could say it decreased by 4.1%. If it was increasing, if it was positive, we'd say it increased. If it's negative, we say it decreased. So that's still part A. Then part B, which state has the least change in population? Again, we look at the absolute value, and the one with the smallest absolute value is West Virginia. We don't look for the most negative, it's the smallest. So in this case, it's West Virginia. And the second part, what was this change? It increased because it was positive. It increased by 0.6%. Was it an increase or decrease? Well, I just said that. It's increased. And I guess that was the place here. It's decreasing. Okay, that's it.